Morning, my name's Peter Bryant. I'm a cryptocurrency trader through EBLN DMCC. Over the past 18 months, I've become increasingly aware of the power and premise, essentially, of cryptocurrencies in society. My talk today is about how to benefit from that change that's going to happen over the next decade or so. And I hope by the end of the talk, you will have understood, one, what cryptocurrencies are, two, how you can profit from them, and three, I'm hoping to get rid of some of the myths and misconceptions about cryptocurrencies. So today's talk is about what cryptocurrencies are and how they operate and how they actually function, so you actually understand the technology behind them, how they are important and why we really need them as a society, and the economic model that currently exists, why it really fundamentally needs cryptocurrencies to work. And finally, how can you profit from this? Okay, because there are obviously strategies and techniques that I utilize for my clients that can be very, very easily replicated by someone who just knows what to do in a certain situation. Those are strategies and techniques. So first of all, what's a cryptocurrency? Cryptocurrency is a string of cryptographically secured digital code that represents value. For the first time ever in the history of humankind, we can send value digitally. You might think we could do this via PayPal or bank transfer at the moment. No, an intermediary has to be involved. They have to take a cut, a fee, and they obviously have to validate the transaction. What's more, those intermediaries, if you've been watching the news over the last 10, 15 years, don't typically have a good reputation. Sometimes money goes missing, sometimes we don't actually have a value on that subscription. Cryptocurrencies are a finite resource. They're actually the only asset class in the world that we know exactly how many of them there are. If you look at anything like precious metals, gold, stocks and shares, etc., any company can create new stocks and shares instantaneously just by saying they're going to create new stocks and shares. With cryptocurrencies, we know exactly how many cryptocurrency units there are in the world. It's the first time in history that humans can actually exchange value, as I've said, and cryptocurrencies are powered through a technology called blockchain technology, effectively, and I'm going to explain about blockchain technology a little bit now. So understanding blockchain technology. So effectively, a blockchain is just an accounting ledger. That's all it is. It's just as simple as having a list of transactions that is added to over a period of time. The key thing is this is done completely automatically in a blockchain, whereas with anything else, it's done manually, typically by a bank. Okay? And over the course of the transactions, each transaction goes through the bank and is matched, used to be by person, now it's more so done by computers. But those computers can have errors, they can have problems. And the banking system, which is called SWIFT, which was invented in 1973, predates the VHS. So it theoretically has a lot of issues with it. And every so often, there's an error. And that transaction goes missing or gets distorted in some way. And therefore, there is insurance necessitated on every single transaction that goes through, which costs everyone around the world around $1.6 trillion per year, just in fees. Okay? This is why the banking industry is so large, and they've managed to make so much money because obviously they're charging every single one of us to use banking on a daily basis, but it's a loss leader for personal banking at least. Business banking is a little bit different story, but personal banking is a loss leader because they're hoping to take out a mortgage or something like that, when the average person in the world pays around $270,000 of interest across their entire lifeline. It's a fantastic money spinner for the banks. With the blockchain technology, with the cryptocurrency, that accounting ledger is completely automatic and it's done worldwide. So it's a distributed network of computers that completely takes away the middleman, effectively, of ledger a transaction. If the transaction fails for any reason, it's not accepted by the ledger. It has a 0% failure rate. In order for the transaction to fail, the laws of physics would have to be invalidated. So this is the way that cryptocurrency effectively works. It takes a group of transactions, feeds them into the network, and then on the back of that network, we have a block which is generated. Okay, that block represents for Bitcoin 2020 transactions. Okay, and over time, those transactions stay in the blockchain forever, and they can be validated at any point, and they're also completely transparent. So if I was sending you some capital, you could check with the blockchain before you even received it whether it had been sent or not. But at the same time, it's completely anonymous, because unless you have the hexadecimal string that I'm using and you have as well, that means you're completely anonymous, effectively. So it's both transparent and anonymous simultaneously. And over time, those transactions build up, and that is the blockchain. So right now, there are thousands of transactions going through the Bitcoin network right now, which are adding blocks and blocks and blocks and blocks. And over time, that block structure gets bigger.